Hello everybody, today is Tuesday, February 13th, and it is 3:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Emini S&P on my left, you can see the time and sales here. Emini S&P trading at 2665, and the action has calmed down just a little bit here. On my computer clock, you can see the date and time here. Another really great day for the Autotrader. First up is the DAX on the 150 tick Heikin Ashi chart. This did 2462. Our goal on this is 2500 or 2550. And what's interesting is this is done on two trades back to back. And looking at the chart, this doesn't look like much, but just goes to show a couple of short moves in the DAX can yield pretty big returns. Okay, next up is the DAX on the Renko 7 tick, and this one has a goal of 2500, so it had a tick of positive slippage, and it was moderately active today. You can see our trades here, and then we ultimately hit our goal right here. This was done really in 20 minutes of trading. So that in itself is pretty remarkable. Here's all the trades. Here was the beginning equity. We took no drawdown, and in just 20-30 minutes of trading, we hit our goal of 2500. So again, the DAX is a pretty remarkable instrument to trade. Just wanted to bring this chart over. This is Emini S&P and Renko 6 tick starts trading at 12:30 noon. Some of these charts that I have that just trade the second part of the day have been doing pretty good. This has a goal of 750 normally, and I've bumped it up to 1050. So it would be hitting its goal of 750 right now. It's in a live trade, and we're short too. If the market sells off, it may hit its goal of 1000. This has been doing quite well, and you can see this. So let's see how the Emini S&P closes for the day. Okay, yesterday I showed a 5 Renko chart, and I'm finding these Renko bars very interesting. This I'm using with a higher time frame of a 6 Renko with a 1 sensitivity. The reason I went up from 4 on the Renko bars to 5 on these are just standard Renko bars. They come with every charting platform. These are not any vendor modified Renkos, but it's 1 tick above 1 point in the Emini S&P. So a Renko bar of 5 is, each bar is 5 ticks. And then what I did, I played around with this chart. After observing these bars and how they trade, I started trading at 10 o'clock a.m. in the morning for this, not off the open, and I made the targets pretty tight. I just analyzed the swings. These are 5 tick bars, and I noticed that a lot of times you just get 3, 4, 5 bars in a move to the upside. So what I did is I took the first target at basically 3 bars and a tick on a 5-bar Renko, and then I'm trailing at 19 ticks, which is just shy of 4 bars. I'm trailing by 20%, which really is only about 4 ticks or so. And then if I hit 24 ticks, I'm trailing by 0 bars, and I set the profit goal at 1025. Well, as the trades unfolded today, that strategy and that money management worked out perfect. This is also a limit order with a pullback of 4 ticks, which is just 1 tick under the bar size. So hopefully from this you can get an idea of my thinking and how you should be thinking when you're creating settings for the Autotrader. Is this 5 Renko bar, a limit order of 4 ticks is just 1 tick under the bar size. So I'm going to get filled if it pulls back a full bar, and that's a pretty good amount there for a pullback on this size chart. So interesting to note was how well the profit targets and trail stops worked out in these trades here. You can see most of the bars moved most of the trades moved 4 to 5 bars, and the most we were giving back was a bar trailing stop or 4 ticks trailing stop, as you can see here, not even a full bar. We had a couple of losers, but they weren't large, and we really did contain a good part of these kind of short swings in what could appear to be a very choppy action. Normally you might look at this and think this is chop, but remember, these are 5 Renko bars, so some of these moves are pretty good size, 10 or 15 points even. And so coming towards the end, before we hit our goal, again, most of these trades were 4 points or 16 ticks on the first target, and 16 to 20 ticks on the second target. That's almost 40 ticks or 10 points per trade. So while it doesn't look like much, it adds up. And then here, there was a big move right here where we hit our goal. We actually went short here, and then hit our goal before this took off and went long. So I'm not sure if we would have got filled here, but this went quite a long ways. So I find the stock Renko bars to be quite interesting. The way they work basically is you have the bar size, which is 5 ticks, and basically before this bar forms, before you get a bar in the other direction, this will be one long bar at 10 ticks, and then as soon as it moves 11 ticks, then that one long bar turns into 2 bars. And then each time you make a new low, you'll get a bar in the other direction. So normally where these bars are alternating, they're all colored blue because they're smoothed out by the precision trend, but normally we'd have a blue bar and a red bar, and then any bar in the other direction would be a red bar in this long trend, but that is being smoothed out by the precision trend indicator. I find even the standard Renko bars work really well, and the way they should be traded is kind of limited. Really not all day long, but you want to set a goal, and you can see here by the size of the swings the way I set my targets and trailing stops. This worked out really, really well. Okay, another chart that's been super consistent is the Emini S&P on a Super Renko 2 tick, and this also has a higher time frame of 4 ticks, and I have adjusted the goals upward on this one. This one has a goal of 1750, but we did 1125 here, and this was fairly active today. This didn't start trading till around the noon hour as well, and there was just a couple of trades here. I actually halted this from trading once it went over $1,000 and so really we only took 2 trades here and here. So once again, this time frame on the E-mini S&P is very doable, and using a higher time frame as a filter. Okay, next up is the Russell, and I tried this on a 34 tick line break, kind of like the DAX. And once again, I gave some thought to the size of the swings on this chart, trying to find a good setup for the Russell. And so notice these swings here are getting most of the move and getting trail stopped out at a good place, before the reversal bar. This one a little early because I'm not going for a move this big. I'm going for these kind of swings, and this one got stopped out at a really good place. So on this, again, the targets are relatively tight. A profit target of 20 ticks, and then trailing by 0 bars once we hit 20 ticks, and that's the only trail stop. So this did pretty good. Now the Russell being $5 a tick now, I bumped this up to 4 contracts, and that's what it's going to take to do $1,000 in the Russell. So anyway, first time I tried this 34 tick line break, which has been doing well in the DAX, and we did this on the Russell chart, and it did really well. We had many nice looking trades here, catching these swings, and then finally coming up here and doing 1100 for the day. Okay, another line break chart on the crude oil. This is 377 tick, and we've seen this chart quite a bit. This did 770 for the day on 2 contracts. Okay, the crude oil on a uni Renko chart doing 650 for the day. Okay, the Emini S&P on the 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart, this drew down quite a bit, about $1,300, and our targets on this I have expanded, so pretty steep drawdown, but we recovered from that. So a $1,500 drawdown recovering to 500 just goes to show that sometimes starting trading right at the open isn't the best thing to do. This run-up recovery from the drawdown started at around 10:30 in the morning Eastern Time and came all the way back to finish at 587 for the day. Finally, the DAX, I had forgot to turn this on, so I turned it on late in the day. It had a loser to start and then one winning trade here, but finished at 800 for the day. That's all for today's video. If you would like to find out more, please visit our website or send us an email to systems@bluewavetrading.com. Thanks for watching today.